You know, those big, complex ideas. Where do they actually come from? Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the messy but really fascinating journey of how a brand new theory actually gets made. Is it just a single flash of genius, a eureka moment, or is it something messier, slower? We're going to find out by digging into the development of Oliver Ding's creative life theory, a framework designed for anyone whose work is, well, all about creating. All right, so our story kicks off with a theorist, Oliver Ding, who had this huge question: how do creators and knowledge workers actually live their creative lives? He wasn't aiming for some universal theory of everything, but something really specific for people who build their careers on making and sharing new ideas. And let me tell you, this was no overnight success. We're talking about a 4-year intellectual adventure. The theory didn't just pop into existence. It grew, it evolved, it got completely overhauled between 2020 and 2023. It really started as this tiny little seed of an idea and blossomed into something way bigger. So, let's rewind. Where did this all kick off? Well, like a lot of big ideas, this one started small. I mean, really, really small, by looking at the most tiny, granular piece of the puzzle. At first, Ding was zoomed way in, focusing on the psychology of a single creative action. You know, that one little moment of making something. It sounds logical, right? But he hit a wall, and fast. He realized that a single action was like trying to understand an entire painting by looking at just one brushstroke. It just wasn't the whole picture. So to really get it, he had to pull the camera back, way back. His whole unit of analysis had to get bigger. It went from a single action to a project, then to a whole journey. But even that wasn't enough. It grew to a landscape of projects and finally to the entire life scope. That's the whole world a creator operates in. Okay, so he's got all these different levels, but how do they all connect? The theory was missing a key ingredient. And the breakthrough, it didn't come from him working alone. It came from a single, pivotal conversation that basically changed everything. Ding began a dialogue with a theoretical sociologist named Ping-keung Lui. And by studying how Lui himself built theories, Ding found this amazing mirror for his own process. This wasn't just some friendly advice. It was the spark that lit the fuse for the theory's next big jump. And this right here, this is the game changer. On the left, you've got the psychological view. It's all about what's happening inside your own head. But Louis brought in the sociological view on the right, and that's all about how your head connects with everybody else's. It was the missing link. Creativity isn't just an internal thing, it's a conversation with the world around you. So when he mixed these two worlds together, the psychological and the sociological, he landed on the real core of the creative life theory. And the best part is, he distilled the whole thing down into 3 super simple but powerful symbols that you can actually visualize. First up is the square. This represents your life scope. Basically, think of it as your entire creative playground. It's not just your main project or your job, it's everything. Your side hustles, your hobbies, the books you're reading, it's the whole shebang, the boundaries of your creative universe. Then you have the circle. This is your knowledge center. And you've definitely got one of these. It's your crew, right? The people you bounce ideas off of. It could be your team at work, a book club, or even an online community. It's that space where your ideas get challenged, sharpened, and really start to take shape. And finally, there's the sand glass. This one is really cool. It symbolizes the actual engine of creation, what Ding calls the STO tendency. It's the process, the magic, that turns your private thoughts and experiences into something real that you can actually share with the world. So here's how it works. At the top of the sand glass, you've got subjectification. That's you just taking in the world, collecting all these little grains of sand, your experiences, your insights. Then that sand funnels through the narrow middle part. That's crystallization. It's where you find the core theme, the big idea in all that noise. And finally, at the bottom, the sand piles up. That's objectification, a finished book, a work of art, a solid, concrete thing for the world to see. So after going through this whole story of building a theory, you might be asking, okay, but why does this matter to me? What can we actually learn from how this idea was born? Well, this story is more than just a story. It's kind of like a roadmap for our own work. It teaches us to see the big picture, to see all our projects as part of one connected life scope. It tells us to go find those conversations that are going to push us. And most importantly, to be deliberate about turning our insights into real things we can share. It's a reminder to trust the journey. Big ideas take time. So we'll leave you with this question to chew on. When you step back and look at the whole landscape of your own creative life, all your projects, your conversations, your ideas, what story is it telling right now? And maybe even more importantly, what story do you want it to tell next?